Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone for pushing his word truthfully and sincerely. And Shalom to the Akim scattered through the four corners of the globe, pushing the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And I say Shalom to the Akim out there. And this is a sit-down lesson that I want to bring out of this recent news article with the increasing ongoing conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians. And this is a news article from the Jerusalem Post staff. This is current time in Israel, May the 12th. Because you know the time zones are kind of different from the United States into Israel. Time zones are different. And it reads, Islamic Jihad continues rocket volleys after Israeli Defense Force kills leaders. I believe like 3 or 4 leaders was killed so far. And it says over 900 rockets, and a lot of those rockets were back and forth between the Israeli Defense Force and the Palestinians as well too, and Hezbollah. You know, a lot of those rockets were intercepted between both sides, you know, because they've been firing off missiles on both sides, a cross-border escalation of the borders of the Gaza Strip and through the Israel border and Gaza Strip border as well, too. So, you know, I wanted to add a note to that. It says over 900 rockets launched at Israel from Gaza. Rocket failed near Beth Ahim. And it says an operational Iron Dome battery, it seems a main barrage of rockets of Israel's south during a Operation Shield and Arrow in Sherrod on May the 11th, 2023. And it says Israel Defense Force slightly increased attacks after rockets on Beit Shemesh, West Bank, Sirah. Islamic Jihad threatens attacks on Jerusalem Day without ceasefire. Because I believe the ongoing talks of the ceasefire has seemed to collapse at the moment. And then you have the representation over there in Egypt. You know, they trying to come with some type of proposal for a ceasefire agreement between the Palestinians and the Israelis. And that's not the case, you know, because while we actually currently seeing the escalations at an all-time high, and we're going to potentially continue to see it increase now, so more than ever, while the talks kind of slowed down of ceasefire agreement on both sides, seem like that's highly unlikely at the case as of right now. And this was the latest, I believe this was like about a couple of hours ago, and it says, Benjamin Netanyahu says operations will continue for as long as necessary. So that shows you that the Israeli Defense Force is going to continue to do their military launches over the cross border of the Gaza Strip. And this is about an hour ago reported. You know, I'm just bringing out updates to this Israel-Palestine conflict. It says the Israeli Defense Force strikes 15 jihad rocket launchers. It says the IDF struck 15 hidden Palestinians Islamic Jihad rocket launchers in Gaza on Friday, the IDF spokesperson unit reports. It says an hour ago, it says Egypt draws up ceasefire deal for Israel and Islamic Jihad report. So this is a offer that's being brought up by Egypt. So we're gonna see if they're gonna agree upon that ceasefire. But right now, at the moment, We're definitely been seeing a increasing barrage of missiles between the Israeli Defense Force and Hamas and the Palestinians as well too. As you see, like four or five Palestinian top jihad leaders was actually killed in those airstrikes, while you have a lot of missiles been intercepted as well too in those target areas where the Israeli Defense Force been firing off at the Hamas and the Palestinian areas throughout the Gaza Strip and the West Bank as well too. So, this was just a matter of fact, bring out a scripture of the ongoing escalations of the Palestinians and the Israeli Defense Force. So these escalations are definitely going to continue to increase and show forth now so more than ever between these two different nations. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must first come to pass, but the end is not yet, right? Because the end is not yet. Because you're going to have continual increasing escalation between these two different nations. The Palestinians, the resistance of the Palestinians and the Hezbollah organization versus the Israeli Defense Force. A cross-border conflict is going to continue to escalate now so more than ever, even though they've been having these conflicts for a very long time. They have a long history between one another, between the Israelis and the Palestinians. They have a long rivals between one another. So this is going to continue to escalate now so more than ever, even though this is nothing new to them, but they're going to continue to escalate the tensions now so more than ever, So you're going to have the continual increasing cross-border, the nations firing off rockets between one another, And this is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7, and it reads through the Holy Scriptures. For a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Right? Earthquakes and, nation shall rise against nation. Hey, that's a prime example of the Palestinians versus the Israelis. Even though they've been having this long conflict for a very long time, hey, that's a increasing prime example right there of the nation shall rise against nation. One nation rising up against another nation, and that's what we're seeing. Hey, the Palestinians versus the Israelis, And then you're gonna have the continual increasing and then you're gonna have the continual increasing of the Israeli Defense Force firing off missiles over there in Syria as well too, because you got the Houthi rebels and pro-Iranian groups, over there in that region of Syria as well too. So you're gonna have escalations on and off a cross-border rival of nuclear fire between the IDF versus the pro-Palestinians, the Houthi rebels, and Hezbollah as well too. In those facilities, areas where you're going to have continuously firing off missiles from the Israeli Defense Force, firing off those missiles at those pro-Iranian facilities and the Houthi rebel facilities as well too. These nations and faction groups that are allies with Hezbollah and the Houthi rebels and the pro-Iranian groups as well too. So we're going to continue to see that increase now so more than ever. So that's why I brought it out as a prime example of a nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. So throughout the whole Middle Eastern region, you're going to see increasing nonstop escalations, cross-border escalations, over there in the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, the southern part of Israel as well too, So with that, hopefully this lesson was edifying. I just want to get another update of this current situation with the Israel-Palestine situation. As you see, the latest update, it says Islamic Jihad continues rocket volleys after Israeli Defense Force killed its leaders. I believe, like I mentioned again previously, about 4 or 5 of their leaders have been killed so far in these missile strikes. So you've been having a total of 900 rockets from both sides, and a lot of them was intercepted by missiles as well too, as both sides have increasing their barrage of missiles at one another, you know. So we're going to continue to see this escalating while you're having Egypt, as of update about like an hour ago, because I was checking up the updates as well too, about the current offer of Egypt of having this potential ceasefire. But seeing how the ceasefire talks has slowed down a whole lot, while the escalations are continuing to be built up. So with that, hopefully the sit-down lesson was edifying of the latest update of the increasing conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis. So with that, hopefully this was edifying. I would like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Wakar Kadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone for preaching his word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely as well too. And until next time, I will say shalom.